Welcome back to some new PettyRevenge stories, where people get small victories over those that wronged them. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Petty Dad. My dad's earpods got stolen at work. He is a teacher at a medical facility. They were in the case on his desk. He has his own office. When he came back, they weren't in the case anymore. He searched for them and tried to find them with his phone, but they were gone. He reported it to his boss, who assured him insurance would cover it. About 2 months later, he asked his boss about the insurance. Boss told him that my dad should have locked the door, and there was nothing they could do, and refused to show him the insurance papers. My dad argued for a bit, but ultimately gave up. Here's the petty revenge. My dad receives lunch coupons for all of his students and himself. The amount depends on how many students he has that day. He has to tell them the number of coupons he needs. He only gets these coupons on the days he works with students, not on the office days. So now he adds 1 coupon more to the list and goes to get a free lunch on the office days. He plans on doing this until the costs of his earpods are covered. The next story is called Might Be Crazy. I worked at a place that used in-house mobiles, more like short-range phones that worked in the building. Anyhow, this admin officer really hated me. No idea why. I was always nice to her. One day, I told her I'd misplaced my phone. She went absolutely off at me. It was super odd. Throughout the day, she told me she was going to get me in lots of trouble and hinted at me losing my job. Over $40 worth of equipment. I found it later that day, but I never told her I found it. Over the next month, she just progressively escalated. Really rude and over the top. I knew a big department meeting was coming up, and it had all the big cheeses there. I saw her staring daggers at me until she requested the floor. There were like 40 people there. She stood up and went on this absolutely unhinged rant about me and this phone, calling for immediate consequences and whatever. Everyone turned to me. I just casually pulled the phone out of my pocket, looked bewildered, shrugged my shoulders, and said I've had this phone the entire time. The boss was like, "For God's sake, why would you waste all this time with this non-important and non-existent issue?" She sat back down, totally deflated. I just looked around with her. Is she okay? Might be crazy expression. Very satisfying. The third story is called Silly Pranks. In my company, there's an immature guy, probably in his mid-40s, who loves to play silly pranks on everyone. Just innocent April Fool's kind of stuff. Not offensive enough to get him in trouble, but enough to be annoying to everyone, apart from a bunch of his chums who laugh with him. The problem is, he does it all year round, not just for April Fools. I'm talking stuff like taping over somebody's mouse optical sensor, putting fake spiders into people's lockers, gluing air horns under somebody's seat, cross-connecting to monitors to cause confusion, stuff like that. His manager is just as silly as him, so nobody complains to keep the peace. Luckily, I only have to work with him occasionally. I mostly learn about his stupidities from what other people tell me, but he has targeted me before too. One day I had to see him at his desk to fill in some form. I knew he was likely to try and pull some prank on me, so I was on my guard. I asked his name, and he answered, John, with only 1 P. His intention was of course to make me confused about the spelling, but I just put on a know-it-all face and replied, only 1 P? You really should drink more. The office air is very dry because of this air conditioning. Everyone roared with laughter. Even days later, when somebody speaks his name, one of his silly chums would ask him about still having only 1 P or drinking more. The last story is called Grievance Reports. I work for one of the big shipping companies and I'm union. Per my union contract, work is offered seniority down and forced seniority up. So if there's available overtime, it's offered to the most senior worker down in order. And if no one wants it, the bottom is forced in. Some of the overtime work can only be done by certified employees, including the work I do, dealing with damages and leaking packages. There are 2 other people who also do this work. One of them is my boyfriend. The other we'll call TA. TA is lower seniority than me, and my boyfriend is higher. My boyfriend's old roommate also worked there. Relationships are allowed with no real restrictions between employees on the same level. But fraternization involving management is very much against the rules. This escaped my supervisor, who has a small group of 4 to 5 employees she goes out drinking with, hangs out with, and even had a relationship with 2 of them. TA and Rumi both belong to this group, and Rumi is one of the 2 she has been with. When my boyfriend and I got together, Rumi got mad. He started being petty in any way he could. He insisted if I used the downstairs bathroom, I needed to clean it. He complained whenever I would spend the night, saying he wasn't okay with me being there for the hour between our start times by myself. But he let his girlfriend stay there for a whole weekend while he was gone. He generally made my boyfriend feel unwelcome in his own home. It got so bad, he moved in with me by having his parents and I pack up and move all his stuff in one day while Rumi was gone, and only then told him. TA is not much better than Rumi. You know the stereotypical nice guy? She's got nice girl energy. She's the type to flirt and be nice, and feign incompetence to get other people to do her job. She does this constantly with hazmat work, leaving a note on her half-finished work for someone else to find and have to finish. If we have half-finished hazmat work in the building and we are audited, the company gets a big government fine. Well, apparently Rumi decided to bad talk my boyfriend at work, and our supervisor started messing with him, moving him from his preferred position, giving his overtime to lower seniority staff, just whatever she thought she could get away with. She even literally yelled at him for something that wasn't his job. The last thing she did was drag her feet, getting him his annual recertification training. Then she told the hazmat program director that he was voluntarily relinquishing his position as a hazmat responder. He did no such thing. He filed several grievances against her, so she shifted to messing with me. She started out skipping giving me the opportunity to go home when there wasn't enough work for everyone. This is also seniority down. And if they don't find enough people who want to leave, bottom up is laid off for the day. Then she started not telling me about overtime hazmat work. She just gave it to TA. Because I'm a union member, I asked all of the drivers I'm friends with to keep an eye on when she was there. My driver spies learned that not only was she being given my work every day, she was staying there and on the clock, stealing time until the work became available. We also learned she's been given all the hazmat work at another location, which also should have been awarded to me. But the bigger issue is she was catching a ride with a driver in her company vehicle. This is a huge liability issue for the company, and a giant flashing red neon no-no. So I went ahead and filed a grievance, and included everything. My union rep, the real hero of the story, was big mad. He missed his calling as a lawyer. He got union business agents involved. Several supervisors got in trouble for participating in knowingly committing seniority violations. Yesterday, I noticed one of the supervisors, who is beloved by all her subordinates, was shadowing my supervisor. Come to find that she's going to be in charge of my shift now. My old supervisor is being transferred to another center. But not only that, TA got fired for time theft, and I got a nice fat grievance check for all the hours she got from the work I wasn't offered. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.